Hey besties, and while I'm here, can I just say, like, look at her. She is so cute. Anyway, she deserves some attention. What's up, y'all? Long time no see. It's been like a whole day. Okay. So, yesterday I mentioned the bag, and I was like, it's in the other room. I don't want to go get it. Yeah, yesterday was so chaotic because my cat was here. If you didn't see it, yeah, my cat was here and I just started recording, so I wanted him in the video, and I was like, he's gonna like jump away, like run away soon, so I was like, I better start recording now. But I was not ready to start filming. But I don't like edit these videos, even though I can now. I still feel like it's not in the spirit of like why I started doing this. So like, yeah, I spend like more time on my other videos now. Like, I don't do this every day anymore, but like, yeah, yesterday was just like really chaotic, and so I wanted to show the bag that I was talking about. This is also the bag. I probably, yeah, I think it's like in the thumbnail probably of the video, but I talked about it in another video called A Necklace in a Bag. Yeah, so if you see someone else with that bag, they're one of like 3 people in the world, or maybe somebody who like saw me post it online and like figured out how to do it themselves. You know, so many possibilities. So good stuff. What is there to talk about? I was just watching a video about like the way that men write women, and it was like by a man, so like immediately I was like, why do I have to watch this from a man? But like it was a good video. It was about like Joss Whedon, kind of like Buffy the Vampire Slayer, and like all his other like strong female characters and like whatever, and like The Last of Us. They talk about The Last of Us, the game, and then like the show adaptations. He talks about it. Sorry, ew, that sounded gross. But anyway, yeah, so he was talking about The Last of Us and like comparing and contrasting like the game, like the women in the games, because there's 2 of them, and then like the roles that they have on the TV show, and it's so bad, and it's just like, oh my gosh. It did make me kind of like want to start my Game of Thrones video. That would be for this channel. That would be like a more video essay type thing than like vlog type thing. And then like I would also potentially use this channel to talk about like writing, because I have like a lot of stories in my head that I've like, I mean, I don't follow the like you have to write every day thing. I follow the like write when you're inspired to. Like I do whatever whatever I'm inspired to do in the moment, pretty much. Like like I'll crochet. If I want to paint, then I'll go, like I have watercolors, I can go like practice watercolors, or like draw, or like whatever. Like I could play, I haven't like practiced piano or guitar or anything in a while, but yeah, I could if I wanted to. If I felt called to, I could just start doing it whenever. So yeah, what was I gonna say? I was thinking about making a Game of Thrones video, which like if you haven't been watching like every single video that I've made and you don't know what I'm talking about, I want to make a video essay comparing and contrasting the like Game of Thrones. I guess it'd be a song of, is it Ice and Fire? I always want to call it Fire and Ice. I feel like it sounds better that way, a song of fire and ice, but it's Ice and Fire, I think. The Song of Ice and Fire series and the Game of Thrones TV show, and like specifically focusing on like the sex scenes, but like I know that this wouldn't go well on YouTube, and it would be like so much reading like to get through all the Game of Thrones books, I mean the Song of Ice and Fire novels. They're so long, and they take like, yeah, I would sit there like when I got them in college. I got the box set for like Christmas, I think, from my mom. Thanks, Mom. What a gal. Oh gosh, my earring's gonna fall out because I'm playing with it, idiot. Just kidding. Don't call yourself an idiot, that's not very nice. Yeah, so when I was reading it in college, I remember sitting there like all day. It was like a weekend because I didn't have classes, and I'm like, I'm gonna try to get through as much of this as I can, because like reading like a few pages at a time can get you through some books, but like it's so discouraging going through like A Song of Ice and Fire like a page at a time, like between classes or whatever, like waiting for the professor to get there. There's so many words that are like just synonyms of other words, like teacher and professor are just like the same thing, but you're like a teacher at a college instead, and so we have to call you professor. It's like whatever. DEI is just I was watching a video with like Trevor Noah talking about white genocide. It was just posted 23 hours ago. Obviously, okay, just to clarify, like there's no such thing as white genocide. Like the South African thing, that's a lie. But yeah, they were saying like DEI is like, they're basically trying to say, they want to say the N-word, but they know they can't, and they'll get in trouble. So that's, yeah. Yeah, well, I was saying Game of Thrones, how did I even get to Trevor Noah? Yeah, I would sit there like all day Saturday and read like 100 pages, and it's just like, it barely made a dent, you know what I mean? I'm gonna keep this curl out, actually. She's so nice. We're gonna move this. This is doing nothing. Okay. Woo, okay. So yeah, I want to compare and contrast the sex scenes in the novels versus the TV show. You know which ones by now, hopefully. Can't make myself say it again. But like, I remember, so when I first watched the show, I got really confused because I was like, me, a lesbian, who are all these men, all these like kind of like fat, hairy white men, you know, like I can't distinguish all these. But like, I don't know who anyone is. Like, none of the scenes are making sense to me because I'm just like, and that's honestly how I felt about Friends. Not the like fat, hairy part, because they're like I'm specifically talking about like the first episode of Game of Thrones, which kind of focuses on like the North and like Ned Stark, and like that they're like in the snowy area, so they like kind of need to be like, I'm not trying to be like fat phobic here, I'm just saying like they all kind of look similar is what I was going for. And then when I said Friends, like I was like, these are all just kind of like white guys with darkish hair. Like, I mean, Chandler's is a little lighter, but like Joey and Ross both have like dark hair, and I'm just like, who are all these guys? I can't really like distinguish them. You know what I mean? And then like obviously Ross is like way taller, and then Joey has and then Chandler has lighter hair. So eventually, after like a few episodes, it like I got yeah, anyway. But so when it came to Game of Thrones, I was like, I don't know what's going on. I think I'm gonna read the books first. And also like I used to watch like John and Hank Green, and like they had this like pledge that they're like, if a book gets adapted, I was gonna say adapted conversated, if a book gets adapted to like a film or a TV show, like I vow to read the book first. And like there was like a pledge, and I remember like being really passionate about that. I was like, yeah, I really like think, because like every time I have read the book first, which was like, I don't know, not that often, but like like with Harry Potter, like obviously read the books first for most of the movies. I think I'll call it half and half, because like for the first two, like I was like a child and I like barely knew how to read, and I thought Harry Potter was for boys, which like JK Rowling would probably be upset by that, but like who cares? Just like, yeah, anyway, she's a TERF, we hate her. So yeah, the point is Game of Thrones. I remember deciding to read the books first because I was like, it's gonna help me understand like what's going on when I watch the show, because I don't really like, because I'll have the names to distinguish, and I wanted to look at the faces that like whatever that I'm mixing up. So yeah, I decided to read the books. I think I read the whole first book before deciding to go back and watch the show. But like the plotline with Daenerys, I remember thinking like, that's really weird the way that they like, okay, so I watched the whole first episode, so I saw the scene with like Daenerys and like Khal Drogo, and like, I don't know, does she eat the heart? Is that the first episode? That was really gross. Just watching her eat that, I like wanted to throw up. Anyway, and then do you know that scene? This was the grossest thing I've ever seen. Like, you probably know what I'm talking about already, but like, it was like, I think in the last season, but I could be wrong. Again with Daenerys, it's like, I'm not great with like the names, even though I read the book specifically because I'd have the names. But it's like his name starts with a J. One of those. I'm like the J, whatever. It's like her right hand man. She has like the woman who's like her, like, I don't want to say assistant. She's like a right hand woman and a right hand man. The right hand man who's there with her like almost from the beginning, I think. His name escapes me, but it's like the white man that's like following her. And he gets this like skin disease where he's like turning to stone or something, and like we see him getting like medicine for it, and it looks really, they're like smearing it on his skin and like peeling it off, and it's like really painful for him. And they cut from like the scene of that to a scene of somebody like eating like stew or something, and it's just like, oh my god, like why would you haunting. Anyway, I decided to read the books so I wouldn't have to see shit like that. And then, so I saw this sex scene between her and Khal Drogo at first, which is like I felt like it was a little bit like less consensual in the show than it was in the books. Do you know what I mean? And I felt like there was a pattern that kept happening. But like, yeah, I do remember there was like a big like outcry, and like a lot of people were getting upset about a scene where like, I think was it Sansa? It could have been someone else. I don't know. Oh no, it was like Theon Greyjoy's sister probably, because it was like, the thing was like, it was a woman who got raped, and then the focus was like on the way that it like affected the male character who was like related to her or whatever. And it's just like, that sucks. And so it's like, it's not surprising that like they changed a lot of the like, I don't know, just like a lot of the nude scenes where like you can see women and like their boobs and stuff, but like you don't really see like, I don't know, like it's just, it seems like there's a lot of sexism in there. I could probably talk about it and like just from that specific lens, which like, oh my gosh, I remember when my teacher, our 12th grade English teacher told us, he taught us, like my class, not us obviously, about like lenses. He's like, you can read a book and like write an essay through like a feminist lens or like a Marxist lens. And I was like, okay, like I didn't get essays, to be honest. Like I think about writing video essays sometimes and I'm like, I still like just don't I don't like the idea of writing an essay. That's probably why I like don't script most of my videos, because it's just like, I'm just gonna talk and like, who cares, you know? I think it's kind of like pre-pandemic, I probably would still be like kind of ashamed a little bit to do this. Like I would feel like no one would sit here and watch me like thinking like, what was I talking about, and going like and not editing every single one of those out. But like because of the pandemic and like a lot of people started doing like Zoom calls and stuff, so people are like okay with like less quality, or like used to less quality videos, so like it's okay that I don't have like the highest quality camera. I'm just using like my iPhone camera, which like boycott Apple. I think we're still doing that. I don't know. I'm trying. I needed to get a new computer to edit videos, but like I was still like, I put that off for a long time, and like, yeah, I'm buying like way less than I would have otherwise, you know what I mean? So anyway, yeah, so I want to do that kind of video about like Game of Thrones, and then like I could also talk about like my own writing, if you guys even care. No. Yeah, and then I could still like do videos like this too, just like these, I don't know, these are kind of like nice because like I can just tell myself, like if I wake up and record a video, which is like what I've been doing recently, Like sometimes I can't because like my dad's home and like making noise and stuff, and so I'm like I can't. But like anyway, what I was saying was when I can wake up and just like record a video and just post it like super early, then I feel like really accomplished for the rest of the day. I'm like I accomplished something at least. Like a lot of other people wouldn't do that in one day, let alone like never post a video in their life, let alone 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, I need to change color here. Okay, you know what I mean? I'm just like, yeah, I'm better than everyone else now. I'm just like, I accomplished something and I can like feel good about that, and then like kind of I'm like in reward mode for the rest of the day. Like, oh yeah, I can like, oh my gosh, I'm not gonna keep playing with the earring because it's gonna fall out again. Yeah, I don't know, I just feel like accomplished already, and so it's like it kind of gets me, not like, I don't know, there's 2 ways that this can go, I guess. Like one is like it gets the ball rolling and then I start doing other stuff. Like I'm like, well, I already made one video, so like I might as well like go make another one. Like I'll go, like I made my Olivia Rodrigo video finally, and then and it was super easy. I just like sat down, I didn't script it, I just sat down and started talking again. Oh yeah, I was talking it's like pre-pandemic, I don't think I would have done this. And there's like other reasons too, but like I feel like because of like Zoom and everything, people are more used to this, and like a lot of podcasts were being done like over Zoom and stuff, and so it's like fine that I'm just sitting here, and like I probably wouldn't have been comfortable doing that before, so like thank God for the pandemic, am I right? No. Although like I do think astrologically, like what happened when the pandemic like started, like the lockdowns and like quarantine and stuff were happening, there was like okay, Pluto's at the end of Capricorn, and then like Saturn came through Capricorn, and then Jupiter came through Capricorn, and then Mars. So like so Pluto, Saturn, Jupiter, and Mars all like kind of conjoined. They weren't all at the same degree at the same exact time, but like yeah, so it's like but Pluto's less involved in this specific story, but like I happen to have Saturn, Jupiter, well Jupiter's up here, Saturn in Pisces, Jupiter in Scorpio, and Mars in Cancer, all trine with like a 2-degree orb with Mars, but like the other 2 are like the same, so like they're 9 degrees of whatever, like water signs, which is a trine, which is a harmonious aspect, and then Mars is like 2 degrees off from like exact trine, but it still counts, you know. So like I have those planets in like harmonious aspect with each other, and so like for me COVID like wasn't that bad, and actually like I kind of benefited from it in a way. Like I don't want to brag, and like I know a lot of people like lost a lot of things, and like family members and loved ones and who aren't related to them, whatever, friends, etc. Like a lot of people had a really bad time, and I don't want to like diminish that and just be like, huh, sucks for you, you know what I mean? But like I do like feel like I benefited from that, and like I would be curious to like look at other people's charts and see like how COVID affected them, and how like those 3 specific planets maybe include Pluto too. But like I have Pluto in the same sign in Scorpio, in the same sign as Jupiter, which is ruled by Mars. And then if you look into, this is gonna like go a little further down the astrological like techno babble, whatever, but okay, so technically like Jupiter is exalted in Cancer where Mars is, and then Mars rules Scorpio where Jupiter is, and then Jupiter rules Pisces where Saturn is, so there's all like even more connection there. So like yeah, I started seeing my like best friend that I like, okay, we weren't really best friends, she was like a coworker, and like the first time I saw her it felt like true love, like love at first sight, that's what I meant to say, but like still true love at first sight, which obviously it isn't, but like yeah, that was like kind of how I like kind of accepted that I was a lesbian, because like I've never felt that way for a man, and I like dated men after I felt that way for her, because she told me she's not gay, she told me she's asexual, which like part of me was like, I thought I was asexual at one point, and then like watching Game of Thrones, like the way they sexualize women, like I found myself getting like a little turned on sometimes, and I like didn't know if it was like just the attraction to women or just like the over sexualization of it, whatever. So I was like kind of confused, whatever. So I was like, maybe she's like going through something similar to what I was, and like, but like also I don't want to be acephobic and like say that like obviously, well, asexuality isn't real, because I thought I was ace and I'm not, like that's not true obviously. So like I would take her at her word for it. So, like she said she's asexual, but like part of me like hopes maybe like in the future, but like that's bad, you shouldn't do that. So yeah, that just like didn't work out. But why did I bring that up? But yeah, remember in How I Met Your Mother when Robin's like just like and then they say that someone comes up to her and or one of Ted's students comes up to them at the bar, and Ted's like, oh, this is one of my students, but he's there for Robin. And then she's like, oh, someone recognizes me. But then like it ends up that they're playing a drinking game with her news forecasts, because every time they say every time she says they take a shot. So one day she just goes, she keeps saying it and like catching herself, she's like, dang it, I said it again, you know? And then like she's like, and she just keeps saying it anyway. It's just like, that's what I feel like right now. I'm just like, okay, yeah, so yeah, why was Ed Sheeran on Game of Thrones? That was, I would watch Game of Thrones like with my housemate, and like he and I would partake in marinara, as we like to refer to it, but it rhymes anyway. It's like the same amount of syllables. I think you get where I'm going with this, but I can't say it on YouTube. Not that it matters, I'm not monetized. We would smoke marijuana and like watch Game of Thrones, and so I was like super high because I wouldn't smoke by myself. I mean, I do now, but like whatever. Yeah, so we were watching it together, and I was like really high and just like, what the fuck? Why is, because I knew that he was in there, because I watched Game of Thrones like most of it way later than everybody else, because like I said, I wanted to read the book. I only read the first book before like going back and like watching the first season, and then like I think I was like, okay, I kind of get it now and I can like watch the show from here, I know who people are. So like but I was still like behind. And then like, yeah, there was controversy about like the rape thing, and then I was like, I don't think I want to watch this, like, but then I would keep seeing people talk about it, and then like my housemate would like invite me to like smoke and then watch it. I think because we threw a party and someone had left weed in our house, and so it wasn't a house, but whatever, yeah, weed at our place, and so we like decided to he read that you could use a page from the Bible to make a joint, and so he did, and then we watched Game of Thrones, and it was like, I did like have a sexual awakening, like, and then also, yeah, it was just like, why the fuck is Ed Sheeran here? Later, yeah, it was a wild, it was a very confusing night. Yeah, I've talked about that before, but there was like a scene that like I went and rewatched it like by myself later, and like I remember a scene where like one girl puts her hand on another girl's thigh, and I would like I would think about that a lot, and then like when I rewatched it, that scene happened, and then like immediately after it, like they're on a boat and they get like attacked, and I was like, I did not remember, like I was so like caught up in my thoughts about like being gay the first time I watched it, like, oh my god, that's so hot, like, you know what I mean? Just like one girl's hand on another girl's thigh, that was all that it took, and I was just like, can't think about anything else, can't focus on anything else, can't take in any new information, apparently I'm not forming any new memories, like whatever, like, yeah, just gay crisis mode there. Oh my gosh, okay, I was like, why was I working over the white? But because I need to go over to there. Okay, crisis averted. Okay, we're almost done. I don't have that much white left, which was like the issue with so I started with this yarn and the lesbian flag yarn. It was actually a different skein than that one. And then, yeah, I was like almost like was I halfway done? Yeah, let's say I was halfway done, and then the white ran out, so I had to stop. I frogged it. I got new yarn actually and tried to keep going with it, but it was too obvious that they were different whites, and so I was like, okay, I gotta frog it and just like use the whole new white, because I bought a huge skein of it, so I was like, I'm just gonna start over with this new white, and then I was like, I'm gonna use the old white to make the moon because it's gonna be less white on there, and I don't have that much left, but I'm not gonna frog this and start over. So hopefully I have something that looks kind of close, or I don't know. We'll see. This is officially a game of yarn chicken now that I've brought it up. Yeah, I don't know that I think I've won yarn chicken, maybe I'm thinking of a post that I saw someone else there was someone's like, I won this game of yarn chicken, and there's just a little tiny sliver of yarn when they're finished. But yeah, I think the times I'm thinking of, I was making a beanie for one of my coworkers, and I had blue. I think I started with blue for him, and then I ran out of the blue, and I was gonna go buy more, and then he's like, oh, I want my beanie today, and I happened to have purple on me that was the same brand of yarn, so it'd be the same size yarn, and it wouldn't matter that I was changing yarn, you know? So I was like, okay, I guess I could finish it with this. And then he was like, yeah, I think it looks cooler with two colors, you know? So that was cool. And then yeah, most of the time I with my cat stuff, oh, I did there was one that I frogged, so I can't show you, but there's one that I made, and then I realized I had missed some rows in some yeah, there was, oh, the ears of the cat were too far out, so I decided to just undo it, and then but yeah, I barely won yarn chicken, and then later I realized I'd done another cat that I fixed the ears this time. I was like, okay, I know to do the ears right, but actually the ears were one row up because there was one more row of the head that because it's I started at the bottom, so it's the tail and the body, I'm going up though, so it's okay, so it's the body and the tail's over here, and then the body goes out and in, and then it goes to the head, and the head goes out, and then it's straight up for a little bit, and then it goes in one, and then the ears are the next row, and I would skip that in one row. So and it goes yeah, it's the body is straight up for the same amount. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Good stuff, good content. But yeah, good stuff. Yeah, so I've been thinking about okay, so I've talked on here a lot about not shaving and stuff. You can probably see my, okay, maybe not, my armpits and my cute little curl, and my legs are pretty hairy, and it's I don't know, I feel weird even going outside to get the mail without putting on pants. I've been wearing skirts and shorts around the house just because it's, oh my gosh, I forgot I had tea. Stream Carly Rae Jepsen's Emotion, or whatever else you want to stream from her. Emotion's so good. She doesn't get the credit she deserves. I was watching a Zoe B video about meritocracy, and she said you could be a mid-pop girl like Rebecca Black or Carly Rae Jepsen, and I just wanted to scream. I was like, how dare you? Doesn't matter. Moving on. What was I talking about right before that? I can just go back to Game of Thrones. Don't know. I could talk about the bag. I could talk about the fact that we're 30 minutes in. Okay, is that long enough for a video? I feel like I usually go longer, but I can cut it there. Then I have 2 more rows of this moon left, so that can be the next video that I make. Okay, so I guess that'll be it for today, and then in like 10 years when I finish reading the Game of Thrones books and rewatching the shows to get the clips that I need to like show, which I probably wouldn't actually show if the argument is that, okay, I did start talking about another video, the Last of Us video. There was one thing that kind of like, I mean, I understand why he did it, and like, I don't know. I don't think the video would have been the same if he didn't do it, but like, it kind of like, I was like, why would you know what I mean? No, probably not, because I haven't explained it. But so there's like the difference between the game, The Last of Us, and the show, The Last of Us. The character, I think her name was like Tara or something. She's like the older woman. There's like the older woman and the younger girl. Not older as in like ancient, but like the woman and then like the young girl. I watched like one episode of the show, and I think they like put a woman in the refrigerator, or like there was like a young black girl that we were like following for a while, and they killed her, I think. And I was like, why would they make us like care about her? And then like all the other characters that we were watching were like not like, it's like they just got rid of the black character anyway. I don't remember it that well, so I don't want to be like there's no black characters on it, so like it's bad, but like I just felt like betrayed by that, I guess. And I was like, I don't trust them enough to like keep going, you know what I mean? After this betrayal, I'm like, I don't want to see what they're gonna have in store. Although like I did think it was really interesting. I really liked like the first, like the opening when they're like talking about the scientists and stuff. So anyway, so I don't know her name, but she's like the woman on the show. She's like supposed to be like, in the game she's like really like an actual strong independent woman and like a leader, where like all the other, or like the men around her are not, they don't have the same qualities as her, or like desire to be a leader, which is like what he was saying in the video. And then the way the show did it, like there's this zombie creature like coming towards her, and then she just stands perfectly still. He says like in the show the way she dies is like fire of gunshots, because that's like the only way for like a strong like action hero like her to die. Maybe that's, I don't know, paraphrasing probably. But yeah, then in the show there's like a zombie coming towards her, and he has like the fungus coming out of his mouth, which like isn't a thing apparently like for anyone else. Like no one else dies that way. And it like she's standing still, and it walks towards her and like puts this like fungus infection that's coming out of his mouth into her mouth, like a little kiss. And then she's like trying to light a lighter, and then like drops it, and then they like explode, and I guess she like sacrifices herself to save the others, or like congratulations. But like she didn't need to have that thing, put the thing in her mouth. And then like, yeah, he was saying it was like an oral like rape scene, and then I was kind of like, why would you show it in the video? But again, I was like, I kind of get that like you need to see it to like understand like why it's like bad. But like, yeah, and the interviews that he was playing clips of like the writers, or like but I don't know who they were, just like I think they were the like male writers, like talking about that scene like on a podcast. It was like so disgusting, and I was like, I hate men. It was a man who made this video that was like talking about like all the like terrible men. So I'm like, okay, there are some good men who like point out the like flaws in other men, and like, but like, oh my god, I was like, why do we let men do things? Do you know what I mean? Like, why do we give them power over anything? Like they just ruin, I'm gonna be misandrist, but I always said misandrist, and then people are like misandrist, and I don't like that. I like misandrist, because it has miss in it. Like, yes, I am misandrist. No, but like the Last of Us and like the Game of Thrones thing that like I haven't made a video about, but once I will, you'll see like how disgusting like the changes that they make are. And it's just like we live in a society, we live in a rape culture, we live under a patriarchy. Like yeah, I think I started talking about this the other day, yesterday. But I was like, no, it wasn't yesterday, but like I think I started saying like I don't believe that like America is a good country that like can be like, I think, okay, we have like a lot of like propaganda about what America is, and like, you know, like George Washington like never told a lie and like chopped down a cherry tree or whatever, but like, and he had like the false like wooden teeth, but then like the wooden teeth were actually not made of wood, they're slave teeth, so like that's a lie. So it's like there's this myth that like he never told a lie, but like there's lies about him that like circulate like that, and like it's just like so ingrained in our culture. Like America was founded, it couldn't have happened, it couldn't be a country without genocide or slavery, and genocide and slavery, like we can't have both. And I don't think that like based on the founding documents of our country, like the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution, like specifically like the Declaration of Independence is like all men are created equal, all men, not all people, all men, and they had a specific definition of men, so you can't even like white, they only counted white men as men because like black men, indigenous people are savages, they don't count as people at all, so the male indigenous people are not men. And same with black people, they're subhuman, right? According to this like white supremacist ideology. That's not what I'm saying. I just feel like someone could take that clip out of context and just be like, presented as like my beliefs. That's not, I don't think that, okay, I just want to make that super clear. God, okay, yeah, it's just like, and then the Constitution like specifically gives rights like to vote to white land specifically, so like wealthy land owning white men, and those are the only people who have the right to vote. And so like I think I kind of said this before, but like I think as things have changed, like as more groups have gotten the rights to vote, more groups got the right to vote, they change, they're like, okay, you can have this, but we're gonna change something else, like we're gonna make it so like that doesn't even really matter, because like then they're gonna just like start gerrymandering, so like the districts, like it doesn't matter that more people are voting, because they can like make sure like some people's votes don't even really count because they're in a gerrymandered district. And so like sure, you can vote all you want, but like it doesn't matter, you know what I mean? And so like I think like we can try to reform all we want, but like the people who are in power, like because of the Constitution, like are just gonna keep changing the rules, so it's like only they have the power. Like I don't know, I can't think of an example off the top of my head. Like media representation, I guess, like you can talk about like how we can try to reform, like, or try to get like more people of color, more women into writers' rooms and stuff, but like if the people in power who like have a final say on like what scripts are okay, like what becomes a TV show and what doesn't, and like what jokes are allowed to go through and what aren't, and like I would argue that like there's somebody somewhere in the television making process that's like an Israeli propagandist who's like trying to subtly just like put some Israeli propaganda in there, and like whatever, that's a whole different thing. But wow, I said I was gonna stop talking like a while ago. Oh wow. But yeah, I don't think that we can like amend the Constitution in any meaningful way that's gonna actually change the way that this country runs, which is like wealthy white men have the power, and like we still have slavery because the 13th Amendment only abolished slavery except as punishment for a crime. So now we have like slave catchers became cops, slaves became prisoners, slave labor became prison labor. Like we still have the same like white supremacist system, the same hierarchy. We still have like indigenous people who like can't like access the lands that are like sacred to them, or like really important. I don't want to use the word sacred, and like I don't know, but like important to their cultures. Like they just can't, they're like not allowed to access it, and like they can't like do a lot of the things that their cultures require, or not require, but like, you know what I mean? I don't yeah, like I don't know the right wording necessarily to say, but like I just like I don't think we can change the like fundamental, like the foundations that this country is built on aren't gonna go away. And like as long as we have the same like founding documents that like say all men are created equal and only wealthy landowning white men have the power to vote, even if you amend that, it's still in there. It's still at the like foundation. And it's like, I think we gotta just, honestly, I believe that like countries shouldn't exist. But if we're gonna like pretend that like countries should exist and like borders are like meaningful, I don't know. It's all made up. So we should just like, free, just one country, Palestine. The one state solution. Every country is Palestine and that's it. So there's no like tariffs to worry about, there's no border crossings to worry about, no border walls that are like killing animals and making it harder for them to like go about their lives. I think we gotta start over. I don't know, abolish countries or like start over with new founding documents that actually give everybody rights. Like I don't think, like, I've seen a couple people argue that like I know that America is bad, but like I still love my country, and like, okay, good for you, I guess, but like I don't feel that way. I'm not gonna say that you're not allowed to or whatever, like teach their own, but I just like, I don't think I could feel anything like the argument that I heard that like almost got me was like somebody's talking about like the way they see the communities like coming together to like fight like ICE and like protect their neighbors and stuff, but I'm like, that's not the country, it's the country that's doing the deportations and stuff. Like the country that you love is like, ICE is like part of that like the government created the police and like the ICE and the military, all these things that are like oppressing us, and it's the people coming together. These are just people, they're not the country, they're like citizens of the country, maybe illegal, undocumented, I'm not gonna judge, whatever, but they're not the country is what I'm trying to say. I feel like I'm just like rambling now. So yeah, I already said I was gonna stop talking, and now I made my okay, I'm gonna say money. I feel the same way about money, and like people will be like, well, okay, so I commented this on like some Instagram post or something. It's like money shouldn't exist or whatever, and people have like all these arguments, and they're like, well, like, what do you think, like the people who make food, or like they said something about food, like how are you gonna like afford food if like without money or whatever. I was like, you don't need to afford it, whatever. Like all of the arguments about it are just like, it's like, well, like, don't people need to get paid for their labor? No, because what are they gonna buy? Like money isn't real, so like they can just go get, like, if we just had like community like gardens that had like food where everyone could go and just like grab food, like you wouldn't need to pay for food, so you wouldn't need to get paid for your labor, and like everything would just be free, and people could just like follow their passions, and like, you know, like with permaculture we wouldn't need to like focus that much on like plant upkeep. But there are people who love plants, like on Instagram, on TikTok, there's like plant people that are just like obsessed. They're like, I'm always buying new plants, my partner's always yelling at me for buying new plants, I'm obsessed with my plants, there's not enough room in my house for plants, blah, blah. Like they're obsessed with plants. They would love to take care of like the plants, I'm sure, and like help everyone, like they could be in charge of the garden because they love plants. And then there are people who like love to knit and love to crochet, like I'm crocheting, well, I'm not crocheting right now, but like there are people who love to cook for other people, there are people who love doing these things, and like we put money attached to that. We're like, you're gonna be a cook at a restaurant and you're gonna get paid for this, and like then it just like takes, I don't know, it just sucks all the fun out of everything. I hate money, and I hate the government, and I hate everything. But I love lesbians, and the bis. Good for you. And the other LGBTQ. I always want to say LGBTQ community, and like I'm kind of afraid that people are gonna not like it and like maybe be offended by it for some reason. Like if I say community, it kind of like cuts out the LGBTQIA, AP, potentially plus, whatever other letters you want to add on there. They're like kind of erased maybe by me saying Q, but then like I don't know, I feel like it works, but you can use it if you want. Don't credit me though if you use it. Yeah, I've never heard anyone else say it, and I think it's really clever and I like it. LGBT community. You heard it here first, folks, with an X, maybe, I don't know. I mean, I'm sure I like I think it's kind of funny like the way some people will accuse someone else of like copying their idea when it's like two people are perfectly capable of having the same idea. Like, I don't know, especially in like the age of the internet where like memes are so like prominent, and then like two people make the same joke on Twitter and someone's like, oh my god, you copied me, and it's like, well, no, I actually just like thought of this on my own. I didn't see your tweet. I've never seen your account before at all, actually, like whatever. Yeah, so anyway, now I guess I'm done. 46, I feel like 45 minutes is more, I don't know why I'm like more comfortable with like doing a video like that than like 20 minutes. I guess because like I like to craft and stuff while I'm watching videos, and then it's kind of annoying to click on shorter videos because then I have to keep like stopping what I'm doing and like moving my mouse around to like click on like find another video, and then like, yeah, I'd rather just watch longer videos. But and then obviously I know what you're thinking, you can just queue videos, but like I find that if I queue a bunch of videos, a lot of them will have like a little thing at the end where it's like 10 seconds, like 15 seconds of just like silence or like little background music or whatever, but it's like just while they're, you know, like they pop up the little videos like on the sides here that you can watch and like hit subscribe and like whatever, like for the last 15 seconds of a video, and they just like have their own little like outro music, and it's just like I'm just sitting there like, okay, well, I'm just gonna manually click to the next video then, I guess. Like, so it doesn't really help to queue videos. So sometimes just like, yeah, like a 9-hour astrology podcast video is just like, okay, yeah, and then I'm like learning and I'm making something, and I just like, this is the life, baby. Anyway, I love that girl who was like, I saw her probably on TikTok and Instagram reels. Like, I don't know if she makes YouTube videos or whatever. She would like knit in class, and that's like, I think how she like got big. That's how I heard of her anyway. She was knitting in class, and someone like, I think took a video of her and like posted it online, and then she like responded to it, and she was knitting in the video. She was talking, she's like, yeah, I like to knit in class, so what, like it's not, it like literally doesn't affect you. Like, stop being a hater. But yeah, she's inspired me too, just while I was talking about, I don't think I would sit here and like do something else with like, I don't know, I feel like if I'm vlogging I should sit and like just look at the camera and nothing else, and like, I don't know, I think I'd feel weird about like looking off to the side. Like, I look out the window and like look over here, like cars will drive by and I'm like, what? Okay, this is a whole nother video. Okay, this could be my like next video topic. I was thinking about doing a video about like dating a man as a lesbian, like my first boyfriend, first and only technically, but like, yeah, he, like, I felt like our relationship was like kind of queer, like, because I had feelings for my coworker, like we ended up becoming friends, but like, oh, I was saying COVID, I would love to look at people's charts and see how like Mars, Jupiter, and Saturn look in their charts. Anyway, yeah, so my ex-boyfriend, like, it felt like a queer kind of relationship. Like, I kind of felt like a pillow princess in that one, because I like did not like to go down on him, because I am not attracted to men. But yeah, I was like, I don't know, like he seemed to really like going down, like eating pussy. So I was like, gay, you know? Like, what a lesbian. But yeah, anyway. Yeah, I guess that's it for today, and I can talk more about that, like, tomorrow, I guess, maybe, if I feel like it, if I remember. I wrote a note on, like, what I could talk about in, like, on a post-it note in the office, and I was like, thinking about it, like, when I went to start talking today, and I was like, I don't remember what I wrote, so I should move those post-its in here. But yeah, good stuff. So that's it for me. I have other channels if you want to watch. I like music. I made a Valentine's Day album, and like before that came out I did a bunch of covers, and then after it came out I did a bunch more covers. So there's a lot there, and then I did one video on my crochet channel, and as I've been talking about astrology, I have an astrology video too, or an astrology channel, so those links will be down below. And thanks for watching. See you next time, okay? Be gay, do crimes. Okay, bye!